Good morning. Welcome to 49ers in 5, your daily update on everything happening with the team that you need to know. I'm Rob Stats Guerrera. Today is Friday, February 2nd, 2024. Here's what's happening with your San Francisco 49ers. We'll get to the juicy comments about the Niners defense coming from Santa Clara in a minute. But first, we begin every show, as we always do, with the injury report. George Kittle did not participate in practice with that toe injury. Ambry Thomas and Oren Burks remain limited. Now, let's get to the audio portion. Kyle Shanahan, Nick Bosa, Fred Warner, and Jed York all spoke yesterday. We'll start with Kyle Shanahan. Kyle, we all saw the clips of Chase Young and others loafing towards the ball carrier in the NFC Championship game last week. Should we worry about the team's defensive effort?
I just understand how social media works, and I understand when a clip looks bad and it goes around, that's everything. But that was a few bad clips in the game, which I bet you I can go find those in a lot of games. But I don't question at all our lack of effort and how hard we work and how hard we go and run to the ball always. Were we 100%? No. Especially on a couple big runs that really looked really bad. But that's on a few plays, which aren't acceptable, but I'm not sitting here acting like that was the whole reason. That's why they got a few extra yards on those two plays, but that game was more about how we played run defense, just not all 11 guys running on every single play.
Kyle Shanahan is always going to defend his players, and I guess you could argue that he should. But look, we all saw the truth. It was the NFC Championship game, and as Kyle would go on to say, too many guys look like they were expecting someone else to make the tackle. That obviously cannot happen in the Super Bowl. Nick Bosa was also asked about it. He explained how he's going to address it going forward.
You don't understand it as much as a rookie, how hard it is to get there. But just how hard you have to play and how locked in you have to be for the entire 4 quarters if you actually want to win. And I learned that, and I'm going to just relay to the guys that there has to be a different level of effort, of intensity, of unselfishness that you have to get to for every single snap that you're in there.
Let's hope that message sinks in. And oh, by the way, speaking of playing for 60 minutes, Fred Warner says he learned that lesson the hard way in Super Bowl 54.
You got to play full 60 minutes, to say, we're up by 10 points late in the game, and I'm thinking, hey, like we're about to win us a Super Bowl, and that thing switched pretty quick, and that scarred me for life. Like, because now to this day, it doesn't matter if it's a preseason, regular season, playoff game. I never start getting excited until that clock hits 0. And so that's got to be the mindset. Playing all the way to the very end, because they got a pretty special guy back there throwing the football, and we got to do our best to stuff them.
The Niners themselves proved how important it is to play hard for the entire game last week in their come-from-behind win. There's no more time to get it ready next week. You've got to get the motor started from the word jump. Go as hard as you can for as long as you can every single snap. That's the only way you're going to win. And if the 49ers defense hasn't gotten that by now, what are they waiting for? We always give you one thing to read, one thing to watch, and one thing you might have missed. One thing to read on this Friday is The Athletic. Matt Barrows has a really cool column about Brock Purdy and how he became so good at processing things from the quarterback position. It actually starts with flag football. Matt talked to Brock's father to get the inside scoop. If you want to read it, click the link in the description of this episode. And oh, by the way, Matt Barrows is going to stop by our set in Vegas next week on Thursday. So maybe we ask him a little bit about what he found out. One thing to watch. Jed York spoke to the media for the first time, and man, I can't even remember when. I didn't want to play the audio and the video of it because I only saw it from David Lombardi, and that was his, and I didn't want to steal it. So I will link to the interview. I'm telling you, go watch it. Jed York spills the tea about what Kyle Shanahan initially thought about the proposed Christian McCaffrey deal. When Kyle knew Brock Purdy was the best quarterback on the team, you're definitely going to want to go and hear that answer, and a whole bunch of other stuff. Jed was really, I thought, very, very honest It was actually a really engaging press conference for a change. So you definitely want to go and check that out. One thing you may have missed, the Washington Commanders have filled the final head coaching vacancy. They are hiring former Cowboys defensive coordinator Dan Quinn. So that's Adam Peters making his choice there. Some big names did not get hired during this cycle. Bill Belichick, Pete Carroll, Mike Vrabel, Eric Bieniemy, all not head coaches at the moment. That's a wrap on today's 49ers in 5. Please rate, review, and follow the Gold Standard Podcast Network. Like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We just went over 3 million views, which is incredible because we have only existed for a year. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Subscribe if you haven't done so already. Tell a friend, tell them to subscribe. We really, really appreciate the support. Stay tuned later today. I'll be live 9:15 a.m. Pacific time with Michelle Majuk. We have plenty to respond to with all the media that took place yesterday. We hope you join us for that as well. I'm Rob Stats Guerrera. We'll talk later today.